that way. And I got an 85.7, y'all. And it was multiple choice. Now we know. So I had ACT, PSAT, SAT, GRE, LMNOP, test anxiety, because I don't do multiple guess. So I was like, oh, I'm going to just be able to explain my answer. And my heart, when I saw that it was multiple choice, it was like, boom, boom, boom. I like, ooh, I started having a hot flash. And then I said, okay, fuck it. Take the test. Let's see where you are. You got 9 more attempts at this. And when I tell y'all, I saw that 85.7, and then they said you got to pass with 80% or more. I jumped up. I was hitting my desk. I'm like, you ain't took a test since 2006, and you ain't took a multiple guess test since the 90s. What? Are you kidding me? And that's when I knew. I said, I have come a long way. A long way. I didn't score the 85.7% on a neuroscience test for synapses, neurons, and the brain. That ain't my background. And I just started studying the brain in October. So listen, I am going to celebrate my win, because I promise you, I'm like, and then I was like, whoo, you got more tests. What if you do bad on the next test? It doesn't matter, because if I didn't take copious notes, if I didn't already know how to take notes, already understand what the brain does, been studying the brain, no way was I going to be able to pass that test, because this is about the synapses, and this is about who created the neurons, and it's all about dendrites and axons and all these verbiages that I don't even have the lexicon for it, because it's not this shit that everybody else is talking about. It's not the, hey, yeah, so you just do this. And it literally, what I did find out yesterday is that when I said synapses, because I've been listening to other people, it actually doesn't connect. The synapse doesn't actually connect. It fires off, it's digital, and then there is this gap. And what happens on the B side, on the dendrite, it's got these little sucker things. And there is literally neurotransmitters that go into the dendrite. And then if it is powerful enough to make a strike, in order for it to happen, it will happen. But sometimes that happens and no spike occurs. So there is no connectivity. So for Kevin and for Jessica, the reason why that keeps happening is because when A tries to go into B, it doesn't take on that transmitter. And so you don't create the connection. So that's why it's not connecting for you. And that's why you don't have a neural pathway. Now, did somebody tell me that already? Hell no. That's why I was like, I'm not going to do this traditional school thing, because I know I wouldn't have got this information. And so now I actually know what's actually taking place at the cellular level. And I know how we got here. That's if it's Gallo and Kyle, Giulio and Kyle, Khalil, because he has an accent too that's telling us that. So the 2 people who got the Nobel Peace Prize for actually understanding the neurons and the neurotransmitters and the synapse 120 years ago, it's really like 130 now, because it's class from 2016. But I wouldn't have had that information. So I lead by example. Is this shit scaring the shit out of me? Absolutely. I have no background in neuroscience at all. At all. So even if I go forward in something, I fail a test, I get to take it again. But I'm going to get this information for y'all, because no one is presenting this information to you in the way that you needed to use your brain. You either have to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or you got to be sick as a dog for people to be told. You got to be depressed, you got to have anxiety and all these other things. But for people who want to be healthy, you want to have your healthy, high functioning brain. I'm willing to sacrifice my whole, everything that I'm doing and sit through this to give it to you so that you can use it. You can actually use it. You could actually create your own neural pathways for the things that are stopping you. So you don't have to be sitting somewhere saying, damn, I can't read, and not know that it's because of the orthographic processing center that when you was in elementary school didn't process properly. Now you just have to say, how can I? Because can makes the impossible possible. There's no way that you could have told me 15 years ago when I left Frito-Lay that I would be studying the brain. The brain? The fuck is you talking about? And I am studying it. So I'm grateful for Carrie Shields being a horrible, awful supervisor. I would have never left. I wouldn't have never left. That's why I'm celebrating the shit out of June 25th when it shows up. 15 years ago, no way, no how. So I'm showing you that can makes the impossible possible. I got an 85.7 on a multiple guess test when I got test anxiety for multiple guess. That was, God. So you can do this. Don't be sitting somewhere saying you can't. Let me be the lead